Let's dive into a couple questions. We only have about 15, a little bit more than 15 minutes left. So I did want to tackle some of these. How do you protect the digital twin from access outside of your interface? So I've got, the Zuant kind of embedded on my website. People can virtually visit my showroom, and I'm in the back capturing leads. There's this thing where you can press the letter U on your keyboard. It's not super popular, but some people may know that. And with time, that kind of may get more popular, where it gets you a deep link, and then, I've extracted the direct Matterport link. How do you protect against something like that? How accessing the direct Matterport link and kind of bypassing Zuant?
I don't actually know the answer to that question.
I know some use. I know it's possible because I've seen some platform partners do that, where you press the letter U and it's actually not a Matterport link. So I'm not sure.
Sure. I mean, you have to give permissions to your Matterport space, so you can lock down your space so that no one can see it. And I imagine that if you do that, then we're using the API, we're using Matterport's low-level API to do what we do. So if you've locked down your space so that nobody can see it, then one imagines that there'll be a straightforward way for us to provide some security credentials to get into that space. With Zuant, you can also password protect the Zuant experience, so people have to know the password to get in there. So I think we'd be able to sort that out so that things were locked down appropriately for people.
Yeah, it's definitely something that can be done if there's any kind of security concern. I would say I'm guessing, because as you said, this is pretty hot off the press. What's a good way for somebody, with us today to reach out to you with more questions about stuff like that?
Simply just go to our website and put a request in, and we'll be delighted to connect and discuss any other applications and answer other questions in more detail.
Okay, so Zuant.com or Zuant3D.com?
No, our new 3D website went live last week, so Zuant3D.com.
Zuant3D.com. Perfect. And just go there, go to contact us and fill out the form.
Indeed. And also the lead tracking is available at no charge. So if you've already got various Matterport scans, you want lead tracking, then it's very easy to set that up through the website. So come on board, give it a try. And that'll even ping you the leads from any Matterport spaces you've got. So it's all fully automated.
That's great. So they just go to Zuant 3D and they can actually just test it out. It doesn't, there's no cost.
Yep. No cost at all. Gets better and better.
It does. That's brilliant.
You can set it up so that the lead just gets pinged straight into your inbox. So once you're set up, then sit back and then you'll.
So you don't even have to actively go into the back end all the time. Every time there's a lead, you just automatically get pinged.
Yeah. So you just see this sort of thing. So it just sends an email like to know that Annie Violet has completed a visit. This is what she did. So that comes in, and that's just the information that's also available in the lead if you do want to log in. It's just in your inbox.
Brilliant. So you know already exactly, how much time they're spending in each area, what they're kind of looking at without having been there and seeing it live. It's all documented.
Yeah.
Wow. And all that is free.
Yeah.
It's almost too good to be true. But yes, it is.
Wow. Okay. That's great. Let me pull up some questions here. So we can tackle these.
The black box isn't free, and the agent interaction isn't free, but the lead capture, just people wandering around, emails it into your inbox. That's free.
Yeah. Wow. No, that's great. I mean, Lead gen is obviously a big deal in every industry. If you're selling something, you need leads.
Sure. And it's great at lead capture because there's the fact that it's tracking, you don't get this in real life. Someone comes into a trade show booth and they're wandering about and spending 5 minutes looking at this little widget and only 30 seconds looking at another widget. You don't really have that information in the real event, but you do have it with Zuant 3D. Exactly how long they were looking at whatever it is. But it's also, as Pete said, to answer your question earlier on about what are the industries. So the fact that we can create this context for the space, give guided navigation, have interactivity, really, it's not just sales leads, it's absolutely anything at all where people are interested in stuff and they don't actually want to get into their car or jump on a plane. They can just go and have a look around at all manner of different things. But think about all the different Matterport scans that exist. It's just a ton of them. It's all fantastic.
Yeah, really impressive. And you're definitely right. I mean, certainly for retail, I know you can't, because you can't track a lot of times what retail stores are using Matterport for is kind of in the back end. Their own design team uses it to lay out a space. But with this, you kind of really get to test how your visitors are walking through that space. And that sort of information helps you better design the actual physical space itself.
Sure.
Super interesting. Okay. Is there a way to search for specific things in the black box instead of searching them manually?
Not at the moment. It's on the roadmap.
So right now you're using it as just kind of like a tiered navigation system.
Yes, but there's some capability in here. You've got the links that you can see. There's a little home icon in the black box to the far right. Black box at the top on the left of the black box. Return to landing point. We can click that, and that will take us back to where we landed. I've got points of interest because I'm a huge KTM fan. Then I've only put KTM in there, and so let's click on that, and that brought us straight into KTM. Street Fighters with style, these are the most stylish bikes you can get, and then you can obviously navigate around. And then once it's sort of en route to adventure bikes, when we arrive, then although I've only got a very terse description, any terrain, any load, obviously you can put a lot more content into that box. But that's pretty much it. The icons at the bottom, we're currently on the navigation capabilities. So if I click the champion agent on, you see it rotate round.
Yeah.
So I've got different abilities here. And we're planning a lot of additional features to go. The reason it rotates is because we're going to have multiple faces to this. So we'll have brochures in here, additional questionnaires, all sorts of additional things that we're going to layer in. But we've prioritized the sort of receptionist, the video functionality, because we think that adds a lot of value straight off that.
Yeah, very cool. All right. Is it possible to link an AR integration view of products, say for excavators, for virtual trade show booths, things like that? Have you worked with any kind of AR?
The only thing that we're looking at the moment, I guess I'm not sure if I would call it AR. It's just staging space. So if you had this motorcycle showroom, it could actually, you could scan an empty space, and then you just get models of your motorbikes and pop them in. So that's not ready to go yet, but being able to have a range of products where you have all of the 3D models in a library, and then you would load them all up into the space so that you have basically a blank virgin space, and then you just put in things that are relevant that month or that week. Visitors can wander around and see those things, If you had an exhibition space, a trade show booth, and you had a particular little gizmo that was sitting on a desk, and you might want to update that gizmo. There's a newer version, so let's just put, let's embed a 3D model of the latest gizmo into the space, and it looks like it's there, but it's not really there.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't say that's AR. Would you describe that as AR? It's 3D model, it's object staging.
I think that's the majority of how I've seen AR used. Some of that, you have a small model and you want to see how it looks in your existing environment. So that, it could be, like you said, something small on a desk, or it could be a piece of furniture.
Or a car.
Or a car. Yeah. Or, KTM motorcycle, see how that works in your garage. If that's...
Yeah.
All right. So another question, this one from Samuel, let me bring this over here. If you do have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the Q&A. But another question here that we got, in a retail setting, live chat feature is only available during so-called the business hours, and otherwise, whom will provide that service 24/7? So do you have the sort of ability for an offsite, if I have, agents who are in different time zones, so that 24/7 I can have coverage? What does that look like for your system? Is it just a matter of hooking them up as an agent? Who cares where they are in the world?
That's pretty much so. And that's really where our call center network comes into play. So they may be there just to cover the normal sort of out of hours time zones around the world. Or we may have different instances in different languages with local language agents connected to those spaces for chat and for video. So we do imagine we would need to provide that extra human capacity to do this. Most companies wouldn't have a team to provide that extended coverage. They may have just business hours and then want it to seamlessly move to a contact center agency support service.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
So
go ahead.
Sorry, Amir. So on that one, yes, you could have a single estate agent just sitting there on their own doing it. It's just during the hours that they're there, or you could have 400 agents that you've outsourced to that are sitting there. You've got thousands of visitors coming in, and it's all being dealt with by the call center without you having to lift a finger and anything in between.
It can scale.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. Let's see here. So if I have existing tags in my Matterport space already, shoppable with Shopify, a lot of people will do that. They'll have a Matter tag with a link to their Shopify link or their Shopify account or cart, whatever. And so how easy is that to translate these tags to Zuant tags? How do Matterport tags work within the Zuant system, or do I need to create those tags in Zuant instead?
No, it's just fully integrated. I think we have a tag in this space and on one of these bikes. So this one of these retro ones has got a tag on it. I can hover on that. Okay, this is just a standard Matterport tag, so they're supported out of the box.
And you've got a link there to the website. And once you click on that, it'll, I'm guessing, open up a new tab.
Yeah, so that would just take us through somewhere else. When you open up the Matterport one, then the black box just swings out of the way, so you can see the whole thing. And when you close it, then it'll swing back.
Yeah.
So it'll just happily coexist with all of your existing Mattertags. Plus, it will record in its activity trail We've got steps going on, but also when you hover on the tag, when you click on the tag, all of this is being added as activities.
So that is getting recorded.
Yeah, you can see their interaction with the tags as well. So just use your existing spaces with your existing tags, no problem.
Got it. So not just what they're looking at, but also what they're interacting with. Again, just to kind of qualify that lead and what they're most interested in.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Okay. Let's see some other questions here. In the example of a trade show, would each booth need to sign as a client to be a part of this, or the trade show organization or organizer is the one who needs to go after? So do you want to do you want to like talk to the organization doing the whole trade show as a whole, or each individual booth? What's the best approach?
At the moment, it's each individual booth. But as I mentioned earlier, Event Tech Live was the first show where we did the total scan over many hours one evening. So, hopefully organizers as well will come on board. But for some of the big shows like the construction industry, ConExpo, for instance, in Vegas, you probably need Matterport photographers in each hall to cover that and provide the linkage. But, we hope that will come in the future. But at the moment, we're just focusing mainly on each exhibitor that wants to take advantage of this and provide it to their salespeople to use after the show.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, right? It's in their best interest to get as many leads as they can from that show. The show is doing everything it can to bring people in the door. But yeah, I guess just a different approach.
And I think it's just to get that greatly enhanced return on investment, because if you spend $1 million on your booth for 3 days, well, let's keep that running for 12 months afterwards and get 3 or 4 times the number of leads and be able to share all of that investment over a long period of time. I think it's a win-win. We're not trying to replace the live exhibition. It's a complementary channel to assist to get more return on investment.
Completely mad not to do it. But if you spent $1 million,
I agree completely. And I mean, I just think it makes sense because a lot of people, I can think of myself, for example, if I want to go to the CES or Photokina or something like that, just to like see what's coming out. I'm just some guy. I don't have an organization behind me. I'm not, but it'd be cool to see all that stuff. So this would be a really great free way for me to experience that.
Yeah. For sure. And then if you see something you like, then to engage with the receptionist and in a way it becomes a better experience compared to being there when can be so busy and you can't get people's attention and it's crowded. Just a one-to-one discussion then over a Matterport scan.
Exactly.
Can't miss your flight.
Sorry, Dave, go ahead.
You can't miss your flight.
You can't
have your flight
no
canceled.
Risk of missing flights, no dealing with long lines, crowds. I mean, it'd be more along the type of experience that I would be in for.